Greetings, 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 greetings. Let's get it. Okay. Upward Spiral Gang, we're back at it again. Okay. Today it is Uncle Makara, all relations. Today we're speaking about psychic abilities. Okay. And the fear of psychic abilities when they're sort of going outside of your own control and you want to bring it back. You want to take your power back in your own hands as a shaman. What are some ways that we can do this? Okay. Thank you to Ferris who asked this incredibly potent question of feeling something and knowing that you're intuiting something and then looking forward into the future and almost second guessing yourself or doubting yourself and then numbing your actually your own abilities as a shaman. Okay, this numbing effect you might have noticed. Now, I think it's very, very key and very, very important to. Oh, hold on, guys. I just realized I don't need these. I'm just speaking from my mic on my laptop here without any microphone. Okay, anyway. This is what happens when you start streaming at night and you have a busy day. But it was good. I met my cousin. She was here for a little bit. So she's going back to Canada. Okay, shout out to you. All right, so let's talk about this stuff, man. First of all, you got to understand that this is a subconscious fear, right? This is not a very conscious fear that we can control and say that it's a rational fear. It's sort of in the background type of fear that emerges from thoughts that are inaccurate that start to sit and sync together to create this stuff, right? Let's say you grew up in a very religious, orthodox, conservative, strict household, okay? Any kind of spiritual stuff, psychic stuff is satanic or the devil, right? That's all it is, at least in those people's minds, right? It's the greatest cop out, right, towards actual spiritual expression. Because myself as a mage, I want to learn what these people are doing with this technology on this planet. Why would you not want to know your enemy, guys? Why would you not want to know how other people have these tools, right? And they're using these tools to extract information from you, to do certain things, to create chance and probability, right? And so I think that fear was created on purpose because I feel that we're really, as shamans, trying to leverage our own fear, not avoid our own fear. So when I make a decision, I ask myself, does this put me closer to my mission? Does this bring me closer to my purpose? Or does it take me away from it? Including whether I have to make this phone call or go to the gym. I always muscle test for everything, as you guys know, okay? So this is a really, really, important framework that we want to start to explore, okay? Let me just share this. All right, all right. Forward to adapts. All right, all right. Okay, so you have to ask yourself, what would you do if you were actually not afraid? Like if the adrenaline wasn't in the body, right? If the fearful imagery wasn't showing up, what would you do then? How would you handle it then? Because you shouldn't take a decision purely based on logic, purely based on emotion. It's an emotional logic, man. Okay? It's an emotional logic. It's coming together. It's using both hemispheres. Okay? Why do I have a dragon in the background? I think that I could be wrong, but I'm going to look this up. Let's look up this concept, okay? The three metamorphoses of spirit. Let's check this out. Mm. Okay, the three stages of Ubermensch. Let me just share this. Share sound. Okay, so it says here, what are the three stages of the developmental pattern has three stages of metamorphosis, as Nietzsche puts it, from the man into the camel into the lion, and then finally from the lion into the child. Okay. And I believe there's a hidden paradox of um the golden dragon, right? It wins its game by breaking the rules dictated by a higher power, which Nietzsche calls the great dragon. The dragon can represent anything that places command on you. Okay. So it's the society telling you, right? Like it has to be like this or it has to be like that. That's the dragon, right? So now let's just find where it says that. Let's just find dragon. Find dragon. Okay. Okay, there's not much here about the dragon, but irregardless, like the way I want you to perceive this is your own ego. This is your own sense of the identity structure that you have formed, but it's also the reputation of society. It's that energy of status. It's the energy of power, right? It's the energy of truth. It's the energy of royalty and emperors, right? And this can become very corrupted, right? In a very evil world, in a world where there's a lot of scrutiny, a lot of baggage, a lot of turmoil, a lot of dogma, this ego can get skewed. So the reason it is the golden version is because it's an ideal, but it's an ideal we will activate as shamans. It's not an ideal, the wishful thinking. Okay, it's up in the clouds. No, this is something that we actually want to use. Okay, be able to actually utilize this thing. All right. So that's the first understanding of this. This dragon symbolizes the fear you have to overcome as a shaman. So, what should you do, really, when your psychic abilities are showing you this stuff? And first of all, it really depends on your abilities, right? What are your psych? Is it telepathy? Is it a sense of premonition, right? Is it remote viewing? Like, if you're more sensitive to mental energies, it's probably more telepathic in its nature, right? And 1 second. I have to give no TV one. Six, 4, 4, 5, 9. All right. Thank you for your patience. I get random stuff from Amazon at times. So, how do you shield your mind from this unsavory, weird influence, right? That's coming in and kind of it's causing this influx of thinking. You want to first of all have protective measures and protective barriers. This is the reason, man, that I work with higher dimensional beings, okay, and lower dimensional beings. I have to create that inner harmony or balance. Otherwise, I'm just floating up into the skies, or I'm going so deep into the abyss and underworld that I can't handle it. This journey, let me draw it out like this, bro. Hold on. Notes. Let's create a new whiteboard. This is a journey, okay? This is you. I'm drawing using a little mouse pad, okay? So excuse me, I'm a better drawer. I got a little touchpad just today. Okay, let's say oversoul, undersoul, undersell. Don't ever undersell yourself, okay? Because nature isn't, right? That's the code. So let's say that you are going up into the oversoul to experience these higher dimensional heaven frequencies, right? So heaven, the idea of heaven is almost so this is earth, you would say. Earth, Makaya, okay? Then we have hell or heel, right? I was gonna write heel for a second. Heaven, earth, hell, right? What would you say is conscious, super conscious, subconscious, right? So down here, bro, is where you do shadow work. Up here, what you're talking about, fear of potential, is golden shadow work. Okay? Simple, easy, okay? Easy to understand, easy to process. So the journey is like this. You have these little chakras, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Main 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And you have a down 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These have names. We're not going to get into that right now. Join the ADAPTS program, okay? The Earth star is here. The Soul star is here, okay? You guys know. So let's say that you have unlocked your throat chakra deity, okay? Let's say this is unlocked. And let's say that you understand that you have a root chakra deity that is unlocked, okay? Now these are meeting well, and you're creating a fear in your heart space right now. You see, there's an emptiness because you haven't found the link or the bridge between these two beings, entities, frequencies, understandings, worldviews. You haven't collided the worlds. You haven't gone from Narnia to Hogwarts. You haven't explored the two different realms yet and properly synchronized and syncretized them, right? So there's this weird split animosity, resistance, fear in the background going, I don't know. And sometimes when you do rituals of one deity with it, mix it with another pantheon's deity or something like that, you might get a weird chemical reaction or like a it won't stop the fire won't stop or like random things start to happen, right? Little glitches in the rituals that you do, you'll get these little signs, right? once i've once I remember I was using the candle's wax to write something, and I was immediately guided not to by a specific energy, right? It just immediately told me because it gave me a little jolt, like a right in my hands. And immediately it's like, should I trust that? Should I not trust that? Right. So that's the energy of like this uncertainty, this hesitation. But as we know, if this journey is really like, hey, we got to go through the gates of hell to get to the gates of heaven, and then the gates of heaven to get to the gates of hell, right? It's like it's this cycle almost in a sense, right? Because we are exploring both of these consciousnesses. You are still within that God mind, that super consciousness. You are also conscious, very conscious living here on earth, right? You have your day to day, 9 to 5, whatever, right? Then you have the subconscious mind, which gets like the little light flutters that you get before you sleep, or like these trance states or states where you get more into this alpha theta bridge or the flow state, right? So flow state is almost right here. It's like a bridge, right? Imagine that's flow, okay? Doesn't look anything like flow, but just a bunch of scribbles. But imagine that this is the flow, right? And it's affecting this relationship. All right. Now, your flow or lack thereof is going to determine how you integrate the subconscious and conscious mind and the superconscious and conscious mind. So this is, again, we go back to the topics that we always talk about, right? We mentioned the David Data model. This, again, it goes into glow. Glow, flow, and go, okay? You see, the subconscious is on go mode. It's not questioning. It's not like discriminating. Oh, this is good. This is bad. Oh, that's probably not going to be worth it. Wait a second. Is that effective in the future? It's not thinking that. You're thinking that. You're consciously trying to think that. The subconscious is like this giant storage factory, right? It's just a giant, like, you know, it's just a giant factory, man. Okay. And once you get this understanding that, wait a second, this is just in like a, like a random Amazon factory or something where I'm going to, right? My subconscious is just like this. They might all be different ideas, practice, but it's like, it just feels like this, right? Your subconscious mind. And sometimes someone will, open a package or it'll get delayed or, there's little things happening in the factory that's just going, right? And, maybe this is what hell looks like as well. Okay. Let's not argue that right now, but let's start to understand this process, right? So the go energies function, it's therapy. This is why therapeutic processes help you access the subconscious, right? Most healing change work, you need to access the subconscious mind in order to change. They say it's like 90% or whatever, right? And this conscious experience that we're having, though it's less and we're trying to piece everything together, it's not always flowing, is it? It's not always like you're a yogi or an artist flowing through this earth, flowing through this world. It's that you hold resistances and rigidity and your ego causes different collapses and so forth, right? But this is a process of being selfish and selfless at the same time. We work a lot with paradoxes here at Primal Sutra, as you guys know, right? So I don't mean selfish as in it's all for me, okay? Because I'm selfish for my tribe, for Primal Sutra, for the greater collective. I needed myself to become this guy so I can heal the most people and myself. You guys get that? This is characterology work. And when you embrace and destroy your old habits, your old character, your limiting fears and beliefs, you don't get held back as a shaman overthinking like, should I do this spell or this spell? Some people think just by going through a tarot deck, you're going to get demon possessed. That's the amount of ignorance that is out there, guys. Okay. It's cards, bro. Okay. Read about the arcana. Like, start exploring these different themes. Okay. You just dropped one dogma for another dogma, right? You just dropped one self-help practice for another self-help practice. What's going on here? Most self-help is shelf-help, okay? This is the thing I have against most. I'm going to rant a little bit, okay, bro? Uncle Makara rants about most motivational channels. Most motivational channels will keep you in this fear state, bro. They'll amp you up like, I don't know. My nervous system needs to do something. I need to, maybe I need to take a walk around or something. I just feel like if I'm doing nothing, I'm not worthy. What are you talking about? Chill, bro. Okay. Now, maybe you don't need to be told to chill. You've been chilling too much. Then get up and go to the gym. Go do some work, right? Brush it off, right? Like stretch it out, right? That's not you. You're not this Mickey Mouse motivator full of rah rah, It's such a cop out mentality, man. Join my pre recorded fake live masterclass. I hate grifters, man. Don't you? Right? And if they're coming at you like, oh, yeah, but I want a solution, but I don't have the money. Bro, you need money to solve your own problem. Okay. You need abundance. We're in abundance August. You're telling me you can't afford $99 a month to join the ADAPS program? Bro, what are you saying to yourself? Why would you choose to live in that reality? Right? And for how long are you going to choose to live in that reality? That you can't even afford $99, right? I'm giving it to you guys at such a cheap level, right? So it's affordable so people can join on. But there's always these excuses and skepticism, like, I don't know, man, these guys work with a bunch of deities. I don't know if I want to get mixed up into that world. I'm fine with just like, Edward Cullen or whatever. Get out of here, okay? In Zoom's special world, in my special little delusional world, all women fidget because they can't resist me. So when I notice her going like this, I'm not thinking, oh, does she have eczema? Does she have fleas? Does maybe she's bored? Maybe she has dry skin. Is she using some kind of a cheap washing powder or a detergent? Is that some kind of a self-soothing, like self-comforting gesture that she's doing? Or a behavioral tick? None of that. None of that. I say that because that's what you guys are thinking. Okay. But in my own delusional, optimistic world of a savage shaman as an illuminated priest beast, I do not work by the standards of society that keep demonstrating to us that this is the norm, that this is the reality. Okay? It's like, yeah, maybe this process of yours works. I don't know, the tantric res stuff, but I don't find it natural. Wait, it's about being natural. Yeah, but I don't know. I just don't find it natural. So I'm just gonna stay single. What? Yeah, that's just not me, bro. That's the point. You have to be someone that you're not. Hey, bro, that's the point. What if you were just you the whole time? Throughout your whole life. You never tried to adopt a new personality, a new attribute, a new, accessory, a new book that you read that you felt accomplished when you read it, right? These things are important in life, man. As an introvert, don't just look at extroverted people as fake. They're not. That's what identity looks like. It looks a little bit intimidating at times. It looks a little bit like in your face, boom, 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 right? Let's get to work. However, within and underneath that fear is a call to action. And that is the call to action that is truly going to make you emerge into the greatest version of you. Okay. So, this is what I want to reiterate. And this is what we're going to have to practice because it is a practice, right? It's a practice every day when you're leaning into your fears. And if you can't lean into it all the way, do it a little bit. Do it like for 5 seconds, right? You're going to do it for 30 seconds, you do it for 5 seconds, right? Just to give yourself a taste of that. And what are you giving yourself a taste of, right? It's your edge. Okay. It's your edge. When you reach this edge, okay, when you reach the outlines of this edge, so you're walking around, right? Let's say you reach the outlines of this edge, it's going to feel tough. The pressure's going to be on. You're going to feel like, I don't even know myself, bro. Who am I? Good. Good. That's how you know you're growing, right? Because you're questioning life. You're actually looking towards moving this energy around instead of staying stuck with it. And so, of course, there's going to be doubts, insecurities, weird things showing up. But it's just you're living at your edge, baby. You could call this anxiety, or you could call it living at your edge, because this is the way that I've reframed it. And I'm gifting this to you. Okay. This is such a powerful mentality. This is my masculine edge, or this is my feminine edge, you know? And maybe the polarities might differ in certain ways, right? But hey, both polarities lived up to their positive extremes, right? Yeah, they're feared, sure. They might be feared, but they're also eroticized, right? Like a man living at his edge, you know that that person is growing. You know that that person is putting in their work. You see it, the way that they shift through each outcome, each difficult situation, right? And a female at her edge is so alluring, so captivating. As soon as she walks into the room, every guy turns their head, right? Why? It's something invisible, right? It's a radiance, it's an openness, okay? I've really been enjoying Saint Laurent's character, man. Not Saint Laurent, Saint John. Okay, Saint John. This guy's character, man. Let me tell you. Okay, he is the ultimate paradox. Okay, and he might be my golden shadow too, because I've looked at him and I've been like, oh snap, there's something about this energy. Okay, okay. No Diddy. Okay, just showing a little bit of love for Saint John. He's a man, epic guy. Let's find an image. Um, why is this not downloading? What the? Okay. Anyway, this is Saint John, right? Now, what are some qualities, right, of Saint John that makes him fearless? Okay. What I want to discuss. Number one is he rides in the paradox. Okay. He rides in that paradox of too ratchet or too pure. Okay. This is a holiness that he creates through his art. Sucks to be you, as I wanna know, no, 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 no. No, 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 no. Okay. He rides in the paradox in the in-between worlds. Okay. Yeah, I love porn and spirituality. You know, he said in an interview once, right? So he merges worlds very well. And this is what we need as flow state Jedi. He understands how to merge worlds. He isn't just like, oh yeah, you know, some guy who's just watching all his friends grow up in Beverly Hills wearing Abercrombie and Fitch, right? He's not riding in the paradox. He will never wear a weird, atrocious thing that peacocks that is completely against the Abercrombie nature, right? Like some ripped pants or something. You would never find that guy wearing that. But he's not even able to let himself do it. So think about it. This guy, man, he is walking charisma, right? Rides in the paradox. Next, what do we have? His character is playful yet wise. Okay? Playful yet wise. Like he'll play with the moment, but it will be from that invisible wisdom that is about to emerge and come through. Okay? He's in, it's such a paradox. He's the ultimate paradox. In his own world, in his own world, yet connecting with other worlds. Okay. Wait a minute, Zoom. That sounds like the human experience. Well, okay, if you say so. But imagine someone just in their own world and they're not sharing that. That's not cool, bro. Okay. That's just one sided. Again, it's the selfish. You need the selflessness with the selfishness. You need the ambition that drives you forward. You also need to have humility in the right moments to let go and humble yourself in this world, right? Sometimes I'm like, hey, wait a second, but that guy said it though, you know? Like his personality has something to say with the message being distorted or something like that, right? We use like weird ego constructs like this at times to explain different things or different concepts, right? He has an eclectic style, okay? He likes the feel of silk, of luxury, of these different items. I think this is a good, let's make this our mascot, right? For Abundance August, okay? Let me just look up what is the etymology of eclectic, okay? To pick out something, to choose something, okay? Comes from the word that literally means choosing the best, okay? It's exactly it. He has an eclectic style, you see? He's choosing the best for himself. Some might say it's like quirky or whatever, right? As the definition of eclectic. Or kind of eccentric, right? No, he's choosing the best from the Greek word eklektikos. Okay. That's an amazing word, by the way. If you just walked in, you just need to say like eklektikos, right? And you're all good. But anyway, man, I hope that gave you a good understanding of this character is fearless. Okay. Now, maybe he might like that's the energy that I get from him is he's able to connect from his own frame. And the moment someone tries to break them out of his frame, yeah, but that's not very nice. But you wrote this in your song, but that's not allowed, right? And in certain cultures, that might be a little bit inappropriate, wouldn't you say? Every single culture started from shamanism and animism, right? That's how he would like. That's how I would answer, at least from that frequency, from that energy, right? It's a deep eternity knowingness that I'm here forever. I'm here to stay forever, right? Yes, I'm here in this physical form, in this physical body for right now, but I'm actually here forever. And when you can think like that, a little ritual going wrong, or your premonition thinking of the weird thing that's going to happen, it doesn't even matter no more, right? Because you're able to zoom out and see the entire journey for what it is. So sometimes I deal with that fear and just zoom out, right? Bro, we've done so much in 2 years. You guys get that? We've traveled the world to two different countries, completely baffling, right? It's wild to do this. It's kind of insane to do this, right? Ryan G, whom I met online through coaching programs where both of our coaches were training us in the art and science of this stuff, right? Charisma and social dynamics and all this kind of stuff, right? VK and AZD. And, first of all, Ryan G hated me, right? In the beginning. But then we started to understand each other because we started talking, we started connecting, we started sharing stories, we started sharing wins, we started working on a business. And slowly and slowly and surely, it started to evolve and awaken in this consciousness. And then I met him in person in Bali, and it was wild, man. It was really cool. And from that moment, I knew that there would be something amazing emerging from my Deva's brain and his Asura brain. Like the ego and the intellect meets the spirit and the freedom or the playfulness, right? And together creates this amazing archetype of wholeness. And that is Primal Sutra, right? It's just wholeness, bro. Okay. What kind of wholeness are you talking about? Ooh, girl, you better calm down. Okay. I don't like it when you talk to me that way. Okay. So, all right, guys. So I hope this helped you. Okay, Ferris, I hope this helped you. I don't know. I was kind of rambling at certain points, but I think many times, people learn fear from family, like physical DNA that can pass from one generation to another. So fear is like almost like a spiritual DNA. Okay. Fear is a spiritual DNA which can pass on from generations. So just make sure you wash off the bad past karma and the ancestral lines. Ask certain deities to remove the fear for you. Okay. I love using Vajra Yogini's energy. I mean, she showed up as Vajra Varahi, as I mentioned, right? And I asked my father in the meditation Sangha today about it. And he was saying that, yeah, they all have different meanings. And I have to now revisit Guide to Dakini Land by Geshe-la to actually break it down. There's never one straight answer, right? So let your higher self kind of put you on the pedestal, like put you in the spotlight, I mean, right? Let your higher self put you in a spotlight and ask you, who do you think you are, bro? Right? There's so many anointed, gifted, talented people out there. Who's going to watch your video or listen to you? Right? I get that voice in my head, but it challenges me. It puts me online. It wires me in. I use the fear as an activation of the adrenaline moving me towards something rather than getting fearful, avoidant, and inwards. I start to lean into the fear, you see. In martial arts, you can't keep flinching, right? I used to do that when I started boxing in the beginning. Just flinching a bunch, dude. I was scared of being hit, right? Scared of being hit, terrified. But after a while, it just started to feel much more natural because it just got hit randomly, And my trainer would just be like, focus, and hit me on the head, right? That's it. Maintain that. So this confrontation of the ego, right, is that we as humans have basic potentials. Beyond that, you got to create the potential, baby. Okay? A lot of times when I shared with some of my old normie friends, you could say, okay, like people who are just, they didn't know me before any of the spiritual Satori experiences that I've had, okay? And maybe they still don't know me. They kind of watch me from a distance, like, oh, I hope he's doing well, blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. However, I do appreciate like the people who are tapped in already and have been watching, like Laura, for instance, like she's been liking some of my posts, and who's some other people, just like my cousin's friends, or like these people who interact with my post. It goes to show you, the people that we once thought were like very close to us, or like maybe an acquaintance, right? Now they're still kind of on the precipice of something, right? There's something emerging that they are noticing. There's something in the energy itself that has a momentum to it. And so this video is going to magnetize the right kinds of people, right? I truly believe it, because no one could comprehend the genuineness of my experiences, right? You have to experience it to know it. That's spirituality, bro, right? And not everybody's going to understand your experience. Have you ever had that one friend who's still trying to like describe his dream in vivid detail, and you're just like, bro, get on, like, what's the point of this, Like, get on with it, bro. Like, what happened then? Like, don't just spend so much detail on one portion of how that room looked. Like, I don't care, you know? I want to know how this story evolves, and that's the thing. We are always telling ourselves a story. So within your own narrative and story, what does fear mean to you? Because to me, whatever, dude. It's just adrenaline, false evidence appearing real, right? A little jumpiness. It's like, oh, I don't know, Scoop. It's that energy. Okay. If I told my friends these concepts, right, and take it back to way, way back, they'd have called me crazy, bonkers, mad, schizo. What are you talking about? What do you mean deities? Oh, you're doing yoga now? Oh, wait, deities and yoga? You mean deity yoga? Okay. No one would understand my experiences. So I wouldn't share, right? In my YouTube channel, you guys saw us talking about flow and flow and flow and flow, right? In different ways, different avenues, different, wormholes and dimensions. I talk about flow. And eventually, life is flow. Bro, for me, anything that's not flow is illusory. It's Maya, it's the Maras, the like the inner and outer demons. It's that stuff. So anything that's not flow, it's not living water, is not righteous, you know? I will still speak to it. I will still challenge it, right? But I will not give the power of my consciousness and my mind, right? My continuous mind stream to certain beings that don't have my best interest in mind, right? And the way you know sometimes is you got to bring it back to you, right? What does this journey say about me? And let me bring it back to me so I can really understand what's going on, okay? Not like fake understand, kind of, sort of understand. How does this relate back to my own storyline, back to my own life, back to my own family, back to my own, traditions and so forth? Ask yourself that. And oftentimes you will get the clarity of the answer to move forward. Secondly, you got to tune into your heart. Simple intuition challenge. Okay. Put a hand over your heart and say, I am a man. Now say, I am a woman. You'll feel the most subtle shift of a contraction. Let's say you're a man and you're saying, I'm a woman, you'll feel a contraction. Let's say you're a woman and you say, I'm a man, you'll feel a contraction. Now, in this gender fluid society, I'm not so sure how to use this example. Okay. However, let's start to understand something as easy, right, as you just saying, you know what, that's a tree, right? That right there is a tree. Just say that. That right there is a bird. You'll get the same thing. Clench, a closing in, right? It's a rigidity. It's a wall, right? It's a barrier. But when you can convince yourself that that tree is a bird over and over again, now that ain't no tree, man. That's a bird, bro. What are you talking about? That's a tree. That's not a tree, bro. What do you mean that's a right? So yeah, it looks like you're done talking, so we'll lower your hand. Okay, thank you, Zoom. And I'm saying thank you, Zoom, as Zoom myself. That's my nickname while I'm on Zoom giving this stream live. Two people who are zooming in and zooming out in this video, and possibly even zooming past, I don't know, solar flares or something. They're suddenly remembering they're a solar being or something, or waking up out of this trance, trying to understand what the heaven is going on, man. Okay. Let me tell you, your fear is just something that is like Play-Doh. Trust me on this. Trust me on this. Your fear, whatever it is, fear of judgment, fear of public speaking, fear of getting seen, fear of getting, things happening to you, health anxiety. I deal with these. These are issues that I eat them for breakfast, bro. I'm a counselor. I'm a positive psychologist. I'm a counseling psychologist. I'm a coaching psychologist. Okay. So this is what I do every single day. I'm dealing with fear, 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 fear. Now, the fear in the occult, very different, right? It's a different level of fear. And it's sometimes even from certain beings you're working with that might install that fear. So my question to you is, let's explore this further, man. You're already an adept. You can ask for help, reach out. Any unanswered questions, let me know. And let's break through this wounding, man. Let's break through this fear. Let's break through this nonsense, keeping us stuck, keeping us held back in our specific ways. It's not so set in stone that we think. Our reality is not as set in stone as we think, guys. Constantly, there's fluidity, newness, novelty happening. But we have to learn how to fall in love with the unknown. Let's get it today, Upward Spiral Gang. May we never be the same again. Thank you for listening and watching. I hope you enjoyed this little live stream. Had to go stream live on a night instead of during the day, but it is what it is, man. Stay golden, stay dragging on, okay? Vyvern, Vyvern, Vyvern. Let's get it. Upward Spiral Gang. May we never be the same again. Ossa. Let's go. I'll meet you all in the astral, okay? Promise me. Pinky promise. Pinky promise we're going to meet in the astral tonight. Okay? Pinky promise me right now. Right now, young lady.